It's the deepest lake in the United States, found in the caldera of a collapsed volcano. Some of the bluest water you'll see, with amazing views to match. It's Crater Lake National Park. It's also the 11th deepest lake in the entire world at 1,949 feet. We've only got about 24 hours total here, so we're going to see as much as we can, from sunrise to sunset, and a few trails, including the only one down to the lakeshore. Find Crater Lake near the southwestern part of Oregon here. The closest major airport will be the city of Medford, about 90 minutes from the park. Other options are the city of Eugene, about 2 hours and 15 minutes away, and then Portland, though that one is a 4.5-hour drive. Not exactly close. Crater Lake is a seasonal park. Kind of. The rim road here is only open from around late June through October, closing for the winter. That doesn't mean you can't access the park, just that you'll need to cross quite a bit of snow on foot if you want some lake views in the colder months. We were deep into our Pacific Northwest road trip. Highlights including Olympic National Park in Washington and the Oregon coast. And now, Crater Lake. Conditions today weren't exactly ideal. Clear skies on the way in turned hazy due to wildfire smoke, which was quickly replaced by a more concerning sky. I believe these are mammatus clouds, a warning of severe weather. And spoiler, there would indeed be some severe weather later on. Light rain on the ride-in eventually cleared as we entered the national park by way of its northern entrance. We made our way in and stopped at one of the first pull-offs along the western side of the lake for a proper view. The Rim Drive essentially wraps around the entire caldera and lake, 33 miles total if you do the entire thing. We were near a spot called Merriam Point, where the full beauty of this place was on display. Deep blue water and rim views greeted us, as did Wizard Island, a 755-foot-tall cinder cone volcano that sits in the lake, a remnant of the last large eruption from Mount Mazama here. Crater Lake is the remnant of a volcano, one that erupted 7,700 years ago. The eruption caused the volcano's collapse into itself, the caldera, the depression left behind, becoming the lake bed. Crater Lake isn't filled by any streams. No water flows in or out of it. Instead, rainfall and snowmelt feed it, making it some of the purest water you'll find. Indeed, a trip closer to its shores revealed just how blue and then clear the water is here. It's estimated that it took around 750 years for the lake to fill to its current level. We wouldn't be visiting the shore today though. That would be saved for tomorrow. For now, we took in the beautiful, if somewhat hazy views, and then continued on toward the visitor center at Rim Village. You'll find all your essentials here: a lodge, restaurant, and souvenirs, just to name a few. We'd be camping down at the other hub in the park, Mazama Village, near its southern end. But it was here at Rim Village we ventured out to the crater overlook for another view, as sunset was quickly approaching. Dark, low-hanging clouds and just a little bit of golden hour peeking through made for a really beautiful shot. It was then that we turned around and saw this. One of the angriest-looking skies I had ever seen. And it was green. I'm not a meteorologist, but I've seen the movie Twister, and I know green skies are not a good sign. And within minutes of this, the hail started. Gentle at first, and then the skies opened up. We made it to our campsite and hunkered down for the night. The rain wouldn't break until morning, but we would be up early to catch sunrise from the rim. This is Discovery Point. You can hike the 2.2-mile trail here for lake views, or simply enjoy from the small parking lot, as Lizzie and I did. The turbulent weather of the previous day was over, making for a spectacular Crater Lake sunrise. We watched sun crest over the mountains in the distance, painting the sky in all kinds of wonderful colors. Being nearby, we made the short drive over to the Watchman Peak trailhead for another view. Wizard Island and the lake looked spectacular, and later today, we'd be heading down to its shore by way of the only trail that leads down there in the park, the Cleetwood Cove Trail. For now, we wanted to try something a little different and hike one of the trails that doesn't feature the lake as a main viewpoint. So we headed back to the southern part of the park into the Godfrey Glen Trail. Old-growth forest and spectacular views of pinnacles in Munson Creek Canyon are the reward for completing this 1-mile loop trail. Early morning mist and soft light made the forest glow as we made the trek through it, across the bridge and deeper into the woods. From here, we were treated to our first canyon view, complete with pinnacles, slender and steep rock formations that, in Crater Lake's case at least, are formed by volcanic activity. Continuing on, the canyon really opened up from here, giving Liz and I a gorgeous view of Munson Creek and a little bit of Dewey Falls down below. It was a perfectly pleasant morning hike, showcasing a little more of what Crater Lake has to offer. But our time here was limited, and the lake was calling us back, so we made the drive over to the rim's north side and the Cleetwood Cove Trail. This is a popular one, maybe the most popular in the entire park. Like I mentioned, it's the only trail down to the bottom and the lake's shore. It's also where the ferries around the lake depart from. More information on those in the description. And a large caveat to potential visitors. As of filming this in September of 2025, it's the last chance to access this trail until at least 2028, if not 2029. The trail is undergoing extensive work until then, so this would be our last chance to see it for a while. With that said, we got to it. The trail's parking lot was very full, which meant we had to park on the road about a quarter mile down from the trail's start. This trail is a steep one. Again, it leads from the crater's rim all the way to the bottom. 2.2 miles round trip and 613 feet of elevation change. Switchbacks are the way down, so once you're ready, begin the journey. The views of the lake only get better the closer you get, and you'll probably see the ferry boats cruising back and forth too. That blue water becomes even more pronounced the closer you get as well, taking on a turquoise tinge near the water's edge. There's not much to do on this trail but just keep hiking, and then eventually, you reach the shore. You'll see the boat dock to your right. Tours from here go around the lake and visit points of interest like Wizard Island. Others actually let you disembark and hike the island too. Sadly, we didn't have the time for a boat tour on this trip, but I've included a link in the description to the concessionaire's website, should you feel like booking your own. Once that trail work is complete, that is. From here, that beautiful blue water might be calling you, and you're in luck. This is the spot, should you feel like swimming in Crater Lake. Be prepared for some chilly water though. It maxes out around 57 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. Unfortunately, we didn't bring our suits, so instead, we simply enjoyed the wonderful views from the lake's edge. Quite the contrast with yesterday's weather. Today's views of America's 5th National Park were astounding. We took it all in as we made the trek back up. Obviously quite a bit more difficult heading up than down. And once at the top, we took one last look at Crater Lake. There's certainly quite a bit more to do in this park, so I suppose someday, hopefully soon, I'll be back. But with that, I'll see you on the next one.